We can also confirm that when he told me that he was paying his car off and he called the dealership and paid his car off, we can confirm that that's a lie. That story will come up later on. So, pretty much at this point, the only thing I know to be true, his name, his date of birth, the secondary social security number that was on my background check, and that he has 2 brothers, and the parents are deceased. At this point in time of July 2021, that's all that I was able to confirm that to be true. So later on, Legion calls me. He calls me because he wants some money. He just needs a little bit of money to hold him over till payday. And so we're on the phone. The call, again, I was recording all my calls at the time. We're on the phone, and I finally kind of confronted him, number one, about having a twin. That's when he tells me, I don't know why I lied, but I don't really talk about him. Number two, and he said, yeah, I've been arrested as a juvenile, but my father had my record expunged. I said, were you ever arrested as an adult? He said, no, I ain't never been arrested as an adult. I said, so you never went to weekend jail? He said.
So I know y'all invested in this, did I marry? Okay, I know y'all are, because I am. And I said I wasn't going to go this far, but I'm on 43, okay? And I just had to say a couple of things about it, okay? Bring y'all closer. So, it's kind of crazy how relationships go. It's so hard to record a video.
Yes.
What I wanted to say was a couple of things. I'm on 44. Hopefully I don't spoil it for nobody. I feel like we all do it. So anybody that get on here trying to talk trash or be judgmental or whatever, you a lie. I feel like we get into relationships and of course our feelings sometimes can take over very easily. I feel like we ignore a lot of red flags. All of us have ignored red flags that we can pick up on later on. Now, not hardcore red flags like what this dude was doing, because for him to be showing you screenshots of his bank accounts and stuff like that, now everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some people have joint bank accounts, some people have separate bank accounts and stuff like that. Let me tell y'all something. And you still cannot protect yourself from these type of men. But listening to her story, and I'm pretty sure there's plenty other more stories out there, you should be able to see your husband's bank account. Like in my situation, I could see my husband's bank account and he could see mine. And it's always been that way. But I'm not saying everybody has to be that way. But if you listen, if you get on part 44 of this, you'll understand. You have so many women out here that be like, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. I ain't checking his phone. Okay. And it's a lot of people out here sick right now because they didn't check a man's phone or a woman's phone. I'm not just going to put it on men, even though her thing is about men. Let me tell y'all something. Judge me. I check phones. Second phone, third phone, fourth phone. Like one day when I tell my story, this YouTube channel is going to get exactly to where it needs to be, because my going to blow up when I get ready to tell my story. I laugh at people that say don't check phones. And it's not that you don't trust them or anything like that, but you better love yourself enough too, because we don't even know who we married. Are you listening to this? And there's so many other stories out here. Let me tell you something. Our grandparents and great-great-grandparents, they didn't do stuff because they wanted to stay. Trust me. They knew stuff was going on. 60s, 70s, 80s, they knew stuff was going on, but they stayed with their man, whether it was because they loved them, because they had 10 kids, because y'all know they had a lot of kids back then, or because they was a good provider. And I'm not going to get too deep on it, because the women that's battling the issues are going to be the ones that come on here. Y'all going to see it. The ones that's battling are going to be the ones that come on here and be like, oh, if I got to check a man's phone, I don't need him. Use a lie. Use a lie. Because it's not about you not needing him. It's about you protecting yourself from AIDS, HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, and a whole lot of other things that you can catch. That's what it's about. And I'm not saying all men cheat. I'm just saying we got to be smarter. Because I was in a group on Facebook one time and I had to get out of the group. I had to get out of the group because the group was a woman's group. And the things that people were finding out about their husbands, not by checking their phones, but yes, it is true. Eventually what they're doing will come out. But you know what? I don't want it to come out 10 years later when I'm sick as a dog. I'd rather it come out earlier. I'd rather find out about it earlier so I can try to keep myself from getting diseases. So this is going to be a very touchy video, but I'm not even going to go that deep about it. And I'm not going to be arguing with nobody in the comments, baby. I've lived long enough and been with enough men to know that you better stay on your toes. I don't care how good you think he is. You better stay on your toes. Because I have been in some situations where I would have never. You think her story good? Imagine. And the stuff and the way it was done, I totally get where she was coming from. Because the way it's done and how it's done, oh my God. When you look back on it, you like, whoa. And I just want to say one thing after all of this. It is not your fault. Whether you're the man or the woman that went through it, it is not your fault. These people are narcissistic. These people have deep-rooted mental issues, childhood trauma, and mental issues. And as women, mostly women, I know it's some men on here, and I'm not taking away from y'all. Women cheat too. But as women, when we go through stuff like this, like she said way back in the other part, you start blaming yourself like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? And it's not you. And it takes a long time to realize it has nothing to do with you. Just like Halle Berry, you can be fine as all outdoors, be the best you can be, but a person is going to be who they deep-rootedly are. They're going to be who they are. Period. Okay? And you don't know. Like somebody told me, you are not with your mate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't know what they're doing. You don't. And I can paranoid some people right now. I mean, I can have y'all paranoid. But I ain't gonna do it. But we here to talk about her. And I'm just here to warn y'all. And also the part where she said her aunt told her, I think she went and asked her aunt, should she stay with him? And her aunt told her, I can't tell you that. Y'all are married. Y'all are married. She said something like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? He's your husband. Y'all are married. Biblically, did I say that right? She has every grounds for divorce. So when somebody, because my first marriage, I will say I stayed for a long time because I thought biblically we were married, so we couldn't divorce, honey. But y'all need to look up the grounds for divorce if you're spiritual. Now, if you ain't spiritual, you know you can pack your stuff and go. But you can. There's nothing that says just because you're married you can't leave. Okay, nothing. And also, let me tell y'all something. Don't be trying to fight for it just because you're married. And that's coming from experience. And like I said, my day will come. I'm gonna let Risa Tisa have hers right now. You do not have to fight for your marriage just because you're married. If you want to fight for it, you can. But don't use the excuse of you're married to say you gotta stay, you gotta fight, you can't leave. Bullcrap. On period. Let's get back to the person we was talking about. Now, if you ain't till 44 yet, now you got to click off and then come back when you get to 44, okay? I don't want to spoil it for y'all.
Okay. Let's finish. So, first of all, let me say this. It is not easy telling this story. It's entertaining. I know it's gone viral. But it is not easy telling this story. I made a decision to tell the story. I made a decision to share my story, what I went through, in hopes that it helps just one person. But I would.
And you know what? I'm going to commend her on that. I have not got rid of this cough yet. I'm going to commend her on that because that is the same reason I said what I said. If I can help one person, stop putting your man on a pedestal. He may be a good man. He may be doing everything he needs to do, but he ain't perfect. So I just feel like I commend her because, like I said, I've been in a situation and it is not, and I haven't told my story yet. You know why? Because she just said it. It ain't easy. Like mentally, I'm not ready to tell my story. Mentally, you know? But we as women need to really, really focus on these dudes that we're dating and marrying, bro. Seriously.
Be remiss if I didn't tell you all, it is not easy telling this story, to relive it, to face certain things out loud that I had to face internally. Just want to say that. So I will push forward to finish, but today got to me. The toll of this got to me today. So I know that you all are like, we're waiting on the next part. We're waiting on the next part. I appreciate that and I get it. Because if I was in those shoes, I would be waiting too and be like, where is it? So I understand that. But the toll was real today. All right. So with that being said, we are still in July of 2021. I talked to the brother, Chris. I talked to the aunt. I talked to all these people. And now was the time where I had saw the receipts for the weekend jail type thing. So I went ahead and did a search.
And that's another thing. And I tell my girls this to this day. Whoever when you get serious with somebody, go ahead and run them. Run their record. Go to the clerk of court. Run them. And don't just run the county you in, baby. We have the intranet. Yeah, I know I said intranet. We have the intranet. Run every county. Run other states. Look these men's up. And they may have everybody has a past. I have a past. If you run me, go ahead, run me and come back. And I'm going to tell y'all a story time about it. I ain't ashamed. But run them and then talk to them about it. A lot of these clerk of the court websites, you can read the actual report. If you think it's something serious, get the report. Most of it's public record if they're an adult. Everybody has done stuff. Everybody has made mistakes. But had she ran him in the beginning, done some research on him and read her reports, she wouldn't have been shocked by the weekend jail stints and she would have known more because he kept telling her, what did he tell her, y'all? He was only married once. Yeah. I think he told her he was only married once and that he had kids with her or something. But I think there was one more wife or two, another wife and stuff that she didn't even know about. It's called clerk of courts.
For his criminal history. I ran his criminal history. I did that on my own at home with my money.
And that's how she found out about the other Social Security number.
Asked if I did anything with my job. No, I did not. I know better. So I ran a criminal history, or I paid for a criminal background report. For him to say that he appreciates law enforcement so much, it was obviously a lie, because the criminal history showed that he had been arrested for criminal trespassing. He had been arrested for suspended license, suspended registration. But the big thing was impersonating an officer. If you don't know anything about impersonating an officer, it is a felony. Period, point blank. As sure as Peachtree runs from Bankhead to Buckhead, it is a felony. So, seeing what court it was in.
Now, if y'all remember, I think she worked for the police department, right? Didn't she work somewhere for the police department or something like that back in the beginning? Yeah, and that's what I'm telling y'all. Like, we're all invested. A lot of her video, some of her videos are a little triggering for me because, like I said, I've been through some things. But I am on 44. I am making it through. I don't want to spoil it for y'all. But if y'all want to come back and we talk about some other parts, comment below. Put the part you want to talk about, and I'll come back and talk about it. Put the part if you want to talk about part 22, part 23. If you want to talk about part 32, put the part down below. We're going to talk about it, okay? Like I said, disclaimer, I'm not arguing with nobody in the comments, boo. Do you? If you don't want to know, you don't. Some people be like, I don't want to know. Like she said, I will never go through another cell phone again. The devil is a lie. After her experience, I'm going through every phone. Lady, is you hearing the story that you telling? Yeah. And then somebody was saying they didn't feel like the part about the miscarriage was true. They said that doctors don't usually do it that way or something like. Y'all, comment below. Let me know what part y'all want to talk about. And I'm going to find the part and play it and we're going to talk about it. Put it down below. Put it down below.